they go off and it goes through their system and can go on other people's plots as well. So it's not the ideal thing to have in your garden, I don't think, or certainly not on an allotment. So, oops, they fell off anyway. Some of these brassicas have been eaten away, and I was wondering what's been eating them. You can go straight through to plot 2 because it makes life a lot easier than zigzagging around the pathway. So. And they split lovely and form new babies. This parcel arrived and I was so excited. I didn't know what I'd ordered. You know, sometimes you order something and then it arrives a couple of months later, you know, when it's the right time to plant. Well, I thought that must be something I ordered. I couldn't remember what it was. And when it arrived, I thought, oh, sea buckthorn. I don't remember ordering that. And I thought, oh, I know what's happened. I probably watched somebody's video and they've said how marvellous it is or something. So I've gone online and I've ordered it. That's what's happened. So anyway, sea buckthorn. So Doug looked it up. Now the benefits, plenty of antioxidants. They get full of berries. Lovely. Right, I thought, that's why I've ordered them. And you can make jams and jellies and probably wine as well. So anyway, that's the upside. The downside, it's very invasive and the roots spread under the ground, send out lots of suckers. That's all well and good, but even when the birds eat the berries, they go off and it goes through their system and can go on other people's plots as well. So it's not the ideal thing to have in your garden, I don't think, or certainly not on an allotment. So I don't know what we're going to do with it really. So there's a few plants in there. You need a male and a female. Well, you need one male to every 12 females, I think it is, something like that, to pollinate them. But I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with them now. It obviously seemed like a good idea at the time. So any suggestions would be gratefully received. Thank you. Well, it's absolutely amazing. We're in November now and we've still got tomatoes growing. But unfortunately, today's the day. We've decided now that enough's enough. By the time I pick the tomatoes, there's going to be hardly anything left on them anyway. So I'm going to pick the tomatoes. There's a few ripe ones there, some starting to ripen, but even the green ones, pick them all today, take them home, and then the ones that's not ripe, we'll ripen them in a brown paper bag with a banana. We've got some at home doing that, and they're doing really well. So yeah, about time really, I think. I think everybody else has taken theirs out. I'm probably one of the last. Have you still got tomatoes growing? Anyway, let's pick these tomatoes. Oops. They fell off anyway. I think I better get the scissors. Some of them are starting to go bad. It's a bit too cold now, I think, for them. So I'll leave those on the vines for now. Take them out with the rest of the tomato plants. Barry's crazy cherry. Still going crazy. It's a shame really to take it out, but it's going brown now. It looks like it's got blight now, so it's not going to survive much longer. There we are. That's not bad for November, is it? I just heard Danny. That's it. Game over. Well, we've had a good innings of tomatoes. I mean, to be picking them right into November, that's fantastic, isn't it? So a lot of them have got blight or they're just gone over now. It's too cold for them to produce any more worthwhile tomatoes. So I picked all the better ones and I need to take the vines out now. So what's going to happen then, We're going to leave the halos there because that'll be next year's planting. And we're going to put some compost. When I say we, probably be me that does that. In fact, I might do it as soon as I've done this. So yeah, take these tomatoes out now. Leave the halos in because they'll be there for next year. And then put some compost in between the halos. Rake that, and then it'll all be ready then for planting brassicas to overwinter and keep us going throughout the winter months. So that's the plan anyway. So without further ado, let's take these tomatoes out. I can't grumble, can I? It's been great. But they are all rotting away now. This atomic fusion in particular, it's gone really bad. It's not going to come to anything. It's all rotted away. Right, out you come, my little beauty. Right, as I'm pulling these out, all the dirt's going in the halos, but that doesn't matter because we will be emptying those and cleaning those out. We'll get all the soil down first and rake that in, and then they can come out, empty that around, and give it a wash then, and it'll be all nice and clean for next season. Some of these brassicas have been eaten away, and I was wondering what's been eating them. And I found the culprit. I've just taken him off. It's this little green caterpillar. I've decided to take all the halos up because it'll be easier to put the compost on here and rake it over. Doug's already removed the straw that was here and bagged that up because that'll come in handy again, maybe to put underneath some of the fresh straw next year, or mulching. I think really he's going to use it for mulching. So I'll take these halos home, give them a wash, and then put the compost down, give it a rake, and then when these are clean, then before I plant up, I'll let Doug put them where he wants them for next year's tomatoes, and I'll plant round them. So that's the plan anyway. This bagged up compost is from plot 2. If you watch my videos, you'll know that's where Doug bagged up all the compost that was on plot 2. So he picked up loads of plastic from in amongst there, and goodness knows what else. Anyway, there may still be the odd bit here and there, so I can pick that out as I go along. So yeah, let's get on with it. Plot number 2 was full of bindweed. We did call it the bindweed plot. We don't call it that anymore. So I'm going to be a bit watchful for pulling out bindweed as well. That's the preparation work all done and all ready for planting. You may have noticed in my last video, where I planted the kale, I'd split that section into two bays, and I decided to make a pathway straight through because originally it was going to cross that way, and now I've created a pathway so it runs straight through from the pathway by Cheryl's plot, straight through and along, and then you can go straight through to plot 2 because it makes life a lot easier than zigzagging around the pathway. So anyway, I put the bark there, but I noticed a few of the other bays are looking a bit shabby, so I thought I've got another couple of bags there, so I'll just do that bit by there. I'll probably need more bark to finish it all off, but that'll do for today.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light.
Well, I've been sorting out my garlic and onion sets ready to plant. And I've got 3 different types of onion sets. They're down the front there. I've got electric, sensu, and radar. And I got 5 different lots of garlic to plant. So I'm planting some outside, and I'll be planting some in the polytunnel because quite a few of them had rest last year. So I'm hedging my bets. So the garlic I've got to plant is pink Germador, white Casablanca. I've got a supermarket organic garlic I'm going to try. And we've got 2 from Malvern. One of them is Rose of Black Tree. And the other one is Iberian Violet. So I've got all the labels written out ready, so I'll know which is which, and I'll compare them and I'll see which ones do best. So I've got a bed there already prepared. I put some hoops there, so I will cover them over because we get a lot of pigeons here, and you know, the pigeons and the birds will be thinking they're worms coming up. So I've got the hoops there ready to cover them up with some net. Oh, now I wasn't going to plant these, but I will find a home for them because I put these in this little tub. It had some water in them and they've rooted. So in my last video, I was talking about the walking onions waste of time, and you know, I think they are a little bit of a waste of time, but do let me know if you've had any success. But this is what comes on the top of the onion. It doesn't have roots like this, mind. This is where they've been in the water, but they have a little bulbs coming on the top of the onion like that. That gets heavy, weighs down, and then it starts rooting in the ground. But this has been, I left that, and then it's rooted well, so it's a shame to throw it now, and nobody else seems to want them. So I'll plant them somewhere along the line, and I'll give them a little bit of a chance. You know, maybe I left them too late, and that's why they went soft. I don't know. So we'll see. Cheers. Now, when you come to plant onions, the root, the flattest side or the root side goes down on the soil, and then the pointy bit at the top. I mean, most people know that, but just in case you don't. Now, I'm going to be planting these about 6 inches apart. Now, they're probably a bit closer than they should be, but I've got so many. I'm trying to get as many as I can into this bed. So all you need to do really is just poke them in and have the onions sitting proud of the soil. So with garlic it's different, and you do need to bury that about the same, I would say about the same depth as the clove of garlic. So I'm just going to place them on the, you just poke them a little bit in, but leave them proud of the soil. I've got so many, I don't think I'm going to fit them all in. Let's see. I'll do my best anyway. So I've spaced all the onions out and the garlic. Now the onions will be staying like that on the top of the soil, but the garlic, even though I've spaced it out and put it on top of the soil, I will be burying that. So that was just for spacing out purposes. I been over on plot 2. I picked myself a nice cabbage to take home. Anyway, let's get on with planting this garlic. So I'm going to be burying the garlic about the same again as the depth of the garlic. So I'm using my dibber and just poking it in. Obviously root end down the bottom and the pointy end at the top. So if I just go as far as I can here. There we are, it's all netted up now. It's hard work bending down and putting all the pegs on. Anyway, never mind. But it is sagging either side there, so I'll get Doug to put a piece of wood going across and that will keep it more rigid then and stop it sagging. So job for Doug, I think. Perennial nasturtiums. In this pond, there's plants called pond soldiers, very similar to pond lettuce. I had pond lettuce in there last year. Whether it's one and the same thing, I'm not sure. But anyway, when I bought them from the garden centre, they were called pond soldiers. And they split lovely and form new babies. I don't want to lose them because last year I did lose the pond lettuce. So I thought what I'll do, I've got some empty mini muffin containers. So I thought I'd put some in there and pop them in the polytunnel for now and then take them home because I don't want to lose them once we have some frost. We've been pretty lucky up to now, see, so I don't want to push my luck. So I've got my rubber gloves, so I'll just get some pond water to begin with and put that in here. Quite a few roots on there. I'm going to pop that one in there for now. I haven't got enough space, I've got that one. Now this big one here, all those are separate plants, so you can pull them off like that. And that's a separate plant, and there's already little babies coming on that one. So I'm going to pop that one in. It might be too big for one, so there we go. Pop that in there, pop that in another one. Now then, we've got another one over there. And we'll pop that one in there. So just put some pond water in there. Hopefully they'll overwinter okay. But better than losing them, isn't it? Right, while I'm here, I'm going to pull out some of this duckweed. There's loads of it in here. And what I usually do is just pop it on the side. It's great for the compost heap, but I just pop it on the side, just in case there's any little creatures in there, and then they can crawl back in to the pond. So what I've decided to do is to take the pond soldiers home. I've emptied out the water into a bucket. So I'm going to take the pond water home. Hopefully I don't spill any in the car on the way home. Take the pond water home along with the pond soldiers. And then when I get home, then I can put the water back in the containers. That's the plan anyway, because I think they'll be far safer at home in the conservatory than they will in the polytunnel, because the polytunnel does get colder than our conservatory. So I'm going to do that. I'm Linda, and this is the Feel Good Garden.